Annyeonghaseyo, I'm Demarche, one half of Soju for Two, and this is going to be this week's update. Now, I just filmed two videos for watching nows that we'll be updating. One's a Taiwanese drama, Miss Rose, and one is The Nice Guy or The Innocent Man, the new Korean drama that's greatly anticipated. And then just a little side note, the two Japanese dramas that we've been watching, I'm having issues with getting them subbed right now, or being able to watch them with English subs, so hopefully I'll be able to catch up by next week. Rich Man, Poor Woman, I'm just 1 week behind, and then Sprout, we're getting kind of far behind there, so hopefully it all catches up. So right now there's 5 dramas we're reviewing, and number 1, again, is Reply 1997. I think for me that this is episode 15, 16's next week. They spread it out against, my wishes, but episode 15, I think, was such an important episode because even though getting close to the end and it seems like you have some extra stuff going on, you're really getting a chance to see the relationships even stronger. And I think that this was an episode for me where you got to see the brothers' relationship really well. And finally admitting his feelings for Chiwon. You really have the main male lead, you see his breakdown of how much he respects his brother, how much he cares for his brother, and yet he's going to do something that really hurts his brother. And I feel like their dynamic is so interesting, and how the end of the episode ends, it's just so emotional to watch. And of course we have the cuteness of them, of the main leads, sort of dating and the little kisses, and it's very, I just think that this drama, everything about it is really thought out. And like with the parents, and you have their side story going on in this episode, everything is really important and interesting. And I think that, this is a drama where there's no way the last episode could unless it bombs, this is totally going to be a 10 for me. Sorry, there's a truck going by. But this is just such an amazing drama, and I think that, I know we're getting close to the end, so if you haven't started watching it, start now and then it'll be up by next week. But it's really amazing, and I just absolutely love it, and could talk for hours about it. Okay, so number 2 is To the Beautiful You, and this is where we start the theme that's going to be in the rest of the episodes this week, is jealousy. Now, if you were kind of concerned about Minho's acting, either in the earlier episodes or things like that, because I know some people don't think he's that good of an actor, I think this is one where you get to see a little bit more acting, because jealousy is the emotion that's really going on here, and it's really interesting and funny, and he does it really well. And I think that it's not quite as stoic, or at least looking very kind of upset all the time that he's looked like in some of the other episodes. So I think it's a great two group, and a chance to see him really starting to shine a little bit. I think that what's really great about this too is that the introduction of this new character who's in love with the main female lead, he's kind of pushing Minho's character to really kind of figure out his feelings for her, and he makes some big decisions. He decides he's not going to leave pretty much because of her, and he is going to tell her how he feels, I think. And what the real bombshell is sort of at the end of the episode is that the second female lead finds out that the main female lead is a woman, and instead of tattling or telling, which is what she initially wanted to do, she sort of does this really crazy thing of saying that Minho and her are dating, or Minho's character and her are dating, in order to sort of avoid him going to her, because now she's saying publicly that they're together and it would be bad for both of their images. So it's really interesting to see that happening, and of course there's tons of misunderstandings which add to all of the drama, but I think this is really getting a chance to see better acting from all of the actors in this one. Number 3 for me is Faith, and again I'm talking about jealousy, but unlike To the Beautiful You, I think it's definitely a more mature kind of jealousy. You have the issue, I think, here of maybe the doctor sort of feeling a little bit of compassion, or at least interest in the villain of the story, because he holds something that's important to her and she wants to find out more about, and then you have sort of the really, I think, sort of showing the evilness of the villains. This is an interesting episode for me, because you feel a little bit more interested in them, you learn a lot about them, but then there's this really gruesome sort of murder where you have main villains are, like the group of them are killing the what would be advisors to the king, and and the doctor has to watch this. It's very upsetting. So I think that you're seeing like a lot of dynamics, and this is one of those dramas where at this point in the drama, I'm really happy with where it's going because I think everything's getting developed, and none of the characters seem very shallow to me. It seems like they're trying to develop them. You're learning more about everybody. Number 4 for me is Arang and the Magistrate. And like I said before, jealousy is definitely the theme here. And jealousy is sort of, at this point, it seems like it would be like the introduction of him sort of wanting to confess, but she kind of keeps misunderstanding, or at least rationalizing his actions. He's really concerned about her and tells her he doesn't want to be like worried about her as much as he is, and she's like, oh, well, you're just worried about me because of your mother. And so it's sort of interesting because she seems sort of not giving him a chance to confess his feelings, which is definitely funny and dramatic to watch. And then I think this week the other part that really was upsetting to me was the villain, the main, the demon or whatever she is. And I never said this before, but the woman who's acting this, she definitely had plastic surgery, and it seems like her face is very frozen. And I think that maybe this is the thing that makes me so creeped out by her as a character. I'm sure she's a lovely woman in real life, but I don't know, her frozen expressions and like the fear that you kind of get when you look at her and the music they play. She's like honestly one of the creepiest villains I've seen in a while, especially for like a supernatural character. And I think for supernatural drama, like really fear in a villain that looks human is really interesting, and I think they picked the perfect person. And number 5 for me is Panda and the Hedgehog. And again, these were all really similar. Nothing is much lower than anything else. But Panda and the Hedgehog, definitely, again, jealousy. And you have competition. So Panda sort of decided that she likes both of them, but she can't figure out who she likes more, so she's going to kind of let them battle it out or whatever. But I think you kind of know she starts to develop feelings for Hedgehog more than the second male lead. And what's interesting about this, and what I think is really funny, or interesting at least, is that through the boys competing, they're also sort of having a lot of compassion for each other, and I didn't really expect that right away. I thought that would come later, and they kind of both realized they have a common enemy, and so that's going to be interesting, because now they have a common enemy, but they're fighting over the same girl, so it'll be interesting to see how that kind of plays out, and I think it's getting a little bit more in-depth than I thought it was going to be at this moment, so I'm definitely happy with that. The actors are all really cute in this drama, but I'm happy that there's a new dynamic going on between the boys and seeing them interact. Okay, so that's it for this week, and stay tuned, like I said, for my other additions for next week. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye!